But Kieran's been playing a new game because, as we said, Kieran hates old games. So he's been playing something that's so new, it's not even out yet.
We do that quite a lot here, you know.
It's not Blood of the Dawnwalker, it's Blood of Dawnwalker.
The Blood of Dawnwalker.
The Blood of Dawnwalker. That feels so clumsy to me.
I get it wrong every time. I was calling him Bloodwalker for ages.
Because he is the Dawnwalker.
John Bloodwalker.
So why is it not just called Blood of the Dawnwalker? It's so weird where they put the. It doesn't make sense to me. My writer's brain is like, I just want to correct it every time.
It feels like they're trying to be quite specific about it. Maybe it's like a narrative thing.
Maybe.
I should have asked that in interview.
You should have. You should have, and you didn't. You failed. But before we shit all over the blood of the Dawn, the Walker, we should hear what it's like. Because Kieran has played. How much did you play of it?
I played about 4 hours of it.
Because you went to London, right? You went to the preview.
Yeah, I went to spend the day in a crypt in
a really warm crypt. And then did you go to the preview after you were done with that?
And I went to the preview, yeah. Sweet. I just spent 4 hours in a crypt. Arsing about.
As you do. Arsing about in a crypt.
Yeah. I spent about 4 hours with the game. So I played the full prologue, which sort of introduces you to the main character, Coen, and it does a really, really good job of setting up the world and I guess the premise for the story. So it all takes place in this valley called Vale Sangora, and there's a group of vampires that basically subjugated everyone that lives in the valley. They got a special name for the vampires. I can't think what it is off the top of my head, but it's like they look pretty gruesome. Like they're well designed vampires. It's not like Twilight vampires. They look.
Are these more like Nosferatu-esque looking?
He is the big bad guy. Brensis is, and then he's got like this group of 3 lieutenants, and the designs. You only see them very briefly in the prologue, but the designs on them absolutely have me wanting to know more about who they are and what they're
bit more
There's one who's like, like
Legacy of Kain. Vampires had a bit more about them than just pointy fangs and sparkly skin.
Yeah, one of them looks like something out of Legacy of Kain a little bit. Actually, he's a bit like sort of aristocratic, foppish in a way. I guess is one way of putting it. Well, I'm thinking of Castlevania, not Legacy of Kain. He's got that sort of like look about him.
See, I'm thinking Brad Pitt Interview with the Vampire vibes.
No, one of them is like this massive Mongolian dude, and then the third one is like this. She looks like something almost like something out of Resident Evil. She's like this thin, wiry woman with like this mask over her face, and she looks horrible.
This is all third-person action RPG.
It's I mean, if I was to describe to split it out, I'd say it's like 80% The Witcher, 10% things like Dishonored, and 10% like Kingdom Come.
Okay,
like it's very, very, very heavily like Witcher coded. Like, if you know anything about who's making it, a lot of them came from CD Projekt Red. They worked on The Witcher 3.
Sounds incredibly
It feels very much. Yeah, it feels like, even down to like, if you remember how like investigations were handled in The Witcher, and you would walk around with Witcher scents on, and you would look for items to interact with. That's all in there. There's even a very similar musical flourish that plays when you level up. Sort of like wailing music. I don't know how to describe it. It's like just a piece of wailing music that plays when you level up, and it's like makes it like a bit of an event. That
a little crescendo of singing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I really like it, and I liked it in The Witcher 3, and I like it here as well. But then you've got like the mix of his powers thrown into it as well. So you've got like the ability to blink, and you can walk like blink from Dishonored, so you can teleport forward short distances, and it's really responsive, and it feels really good to use. And you can walk on walls, and there's a bunch of other powers that I didn't get access to. And then I guess the 10% for Kingdom Come is partially because the location, it's the same sort of setting, same sort of part of the world, but then also because the combat. I didn't know this until I went in on the day, but the combat is directional. So, you have like 4 direct. You have to aim your attack, whether it's up, down, left, or right, based on where the enemy is blocking, and then you've got to block and dodge the same way as well.
Is that easy? I'm assuming not everything is a one-on-one.
No, when there's a few cards.
Yeah, that must be a bit tricky. Of a brain twister then.
I died a lot, like mainly because I just there was some areas where I'd sort of got to, and I knew that I couldn't do everything in the preview anyway. So I thought, I'm here anyway. I'm just going to keep going until I either give up or make it through this section.
Presumably,
the combat's
though,
really good. It's just
sorry, I was going to say, presumably though, as you unlock more abilities and get stronger, like there'd be more things to mix into like a standard combat. I mean, the enemies will obviously grow with you, but like, because you were in the prologue, so presumably you were playing at a point where your character is naturally quite underpowered.
Yep.
So yeah, because you said some stuff because I read your preview a couple of times now, and that there's a bit in the preview where you talked about like the magic system, because you have magic in the day, but it's based on blood, so you can't do it at night when you're he's human in the day, but then he literally becomes a vampire at night, so he's like best of both worlds. But then the magic system is based on you cut yourself, but you can't do that at night because he just instantly heals, so you lose your human magic, but you get the vampire stuff at night, which I find just really interesting.
Yeah, they've done a really good job, because I imagine it's quite easy for the vampire stuff to feel way more interesting and way more fun than the
well, that's what I was worried about. We talked about this, didn't we, a couple of months ago? We said, is it going to be a game where you're just like, fucking hell, I'm stuck in Persona, wandering around, waiting for something to happen? No shade on Persona.
That's all right. Lyle's gone.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah, the magic stuff. I think it's a really good way of making the human side a bit more, giving it a little bit extra to it. It's got this time system as well. So day and night are both broken up into 8 chunks each. However you choose to progress different quest lines or even learn certain abilities. Some abilities require a time sacrifice as well as an XP sacrifice.
Because they've made quite a lot of that leading up to this, haven't they? About how you could miss certain events if you're just pissing around doing something else.
You can't do everything. And it's one of those games where you're going to have to make peace with the fact that you're going to have to commit time to a route or a mixture of routes, and you won't get to see the alternative unless you replay it, which I'm fine with. That's how I like to play games anyway. But yeah, you've got that sort of split. And yeah, for the 8 sort of time chunks in the day, you're playing as the human version of Coen, and he's got like, I mean, you get sword mastery abilities as well, so you can like throw dust in people's faces and charge at them and stuff. But then you've also got the magic element, which I didn't get any. I don't know if there's any magic abilities for combat, but there are for like exploration and investigation. So the first one you get is the ability to speak to the dead, basically. So you need to be able to sort of put a cut on your hand and then look for an item that is of significance to the dead person, and then you can speak to them, and then you can use that to, through investigations and stuff. And then there was one other ability unlocked, which was to open up portals to like the netherworld, basically, and you could unleash demons, which you then kill, and then you get like rewards and stuff.
Okay. But
it's really cool, like the way it's, like I said, it is very Witchery in the way the investigations are handled, but you've got 2 routes, I guess. The route that you take differs depending on whether you go day or night. Because if you go at night, the guards know that you're a vampire and they know who you are, and they will try and kill you. So you can try and sneak.
So you can always teleport. Take a different option if you I guess you can't go back and redo it, because it's a case of you've made this path for yourself, now just fucking walk it.
Well, I did that in daytime in the first instance. I probably would have been able to speak, talk my way in.
So it's not as if they're thinking, it's a different guy now, he looks way more human.
No, they know.
Remember and do react accordingly.
So I feel like I was very unfair on this in a way. Now you've played 4 hours of it and you've come away and you've said this, it feels like this and it does this. Because I do remember when we spoke a couple of months ago and we were going through like our most anticipated games, and I said and I remember my quote was like, there's a very good chance this could be shit. And like that at the time, that's a fair assumption, because we'd only seen a little bit janky gameplay, and we knew it was a game because the fact that a game is made by ex-devs of such and such is not necessarily a stamp of approval. You don't necessarily know what they've carried over. And the fact that it looks so witchery was just, it would be very easy to make the Witcher at home jokes and whatever. But like the way you've been speaking about it, like since the preview and in the preview, go and read Kieran's preview. I can't wait for it now. Like there seems to be so much more to it, because we were talking about how we were worried about how they would do the day-night split, and we were talking about like, well, if you miss something, is it going to be a game that you want to replay 25 hours or whatever the runtime of the game is. Because I read earlier on, and I think it was so I only read the headline. I think it was a Eurogamer preview, and they were and it basically was talking about the fact that you can complete the game in the prologue. So there's
I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently there's a fight with Brensis in the prologue, and it's you're going to lose this.
There is,
fight.
Yeah.
But apparently there is a possibility that you could be one of those players that's going to spend 15 hours solid for 2 weeks until they do this. And apparently if you beat him in the prologue, you win. And you can there's also you can also do a Far Cry 4 apparently, where if you just if you don't do something in the prologue and allow something else to happen, the credits roll and the game's finished and it's just over. And the fact that they're releasing this sort of information, because this is a normal sort of thing that a developer would say nothing about, and then just
people find it a few weeks later.
Find it later and discover it organically. So it's maybe I have mixed feelings on why they've told everybody that you can do this, but I also think it's cool, and it speaks to sort of, they seem very confident of this. Is the feeling I get. There's obviously going to be enough in this game that they haven't revealed and haven't shown and haven't told us. So yeah, the fact that the developer is so confident on this has given me a lot of hope.
Yeah, there's a lot in it. And when I spoke to I did an interview with the team as well, which is also on the site. They spoke about it as in they've basically had to create 2 games and almost smush them together, and you really can feel that there's clearly so much in it. But even all the way down to like how you heal in a fight, for example, how you heal as a vampire is completely different to how you heal as human. So and the stuff that you have for one won't work with the other. And same with certain bits of equipment. You might be equipping like rings, for example, that improve your vampiric powers, but they of no use in the day. And you can set up loadouts almost. So you can have a loadout for human Coen and a loadout for vampire Coen.
So it's not just a palette swap when it becomes a bit darker.
No. Even to like, he's obviously like an expert with a sword, but when you're in vampire mode, you don't have to use your sword. You can put it down and just use your claws, and it feels brutal. In fact, the combat's really brutal. I don't remember if The Witcher was like this. I know The Witcher was quite it was a brutal game in places, but when you're playing as a vampire, there are limbs flying everywhere. Like he is constantly hacking stuff off.
The Witcher was quite flourishy. Like I remember you could behead people and stuff like that in The Witcher, but
you'd sometimes bisect them, wouldn't you, as well?
Yeah, but there was always the combat was always Geralt leaping around, and it was, you never really focused on anything long enough to see much of it. It just sort of happened. I tell you what, so I'm thinking about, like, there's not that many games that have this extreme dichotomy between the 2 dual states.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we've all seen games where, like, switch to beast mode or whatever for 30 seconds, or like the old Soul Reaver games where you would switch to like spectral, and it was very different. I mean, that was a lot more basic than this because it's a much older game, but you don't see it an awful lot where there's 2 completely different play styles literally smushed together the way that this is doing it. And that's quite ambitious, and it sounds very interesting.
It's freeform as well. Like, so the conceit of the game is you need to rescue your family from Brensis before in the next 30 days. He holds mass every 30 days, and in that mass he takes blood from people. And there's quite like a gruesome scene involving Coen's family at the start of the game, and then after that your family get taken and you've got to get them back. How you do it is up to you. So that those 8 chunks of time that you got day and night for 30 days, how you do it is up to you. And you can find leads in the world. You can meet with, like, you can either try and build your magic powers, you can build up a network of support to try and take down Brensis. Or
could you not just send him a nicely worded letter?
I mean, there might be an option. It's an RPG, and it's quite an in-depth one. There might be an option for that, but
can I have my folks back, please? Thanks.
Like I after I got fucked up by that fort of enemies, I thought I knew I wasn't going to be able to explore the whole map. I knew we just had a certain section, so I thought I'm just going to look at all the points of interest around here and see what they are. So like I was walking along, I wandered into the swamps, which is full of like alligator monsters and things, and I found like this really like again, everything in this world is so depressing and like downtrodden, but it was a really like grim scene of like people like panning for stuff in the swamps with like these little trays, and it turned out it was a leech farm, and it was part of one of his lieutenants. One of his lieutenants is responsible for blood production, so he found his leech farm, and then you can go in there, you can kill the guards, and then it leads to like a quest line that shuts down the leech farm production.
Is that just like draining people in like a battery-esque manner, so you just plug a leech in when you're running low later?
I don't know, because I couldn't kill the guards. There was four guards or 4 or 5 guards in this area. One of them was a big one, and I couldn't get them without. I didn't have enough healing items on me, and it was in the day, and I didn't want to advance time to night. And then there was another one I found where I found like some of his guards had stopped, and they were carrying stuff back towards his castle, and I thought, well, here's an opportunity to throw a spanner in the works and destroy part of his operation. I did it. And a bloke popped out of one of the barrels called Klaus the Brave, and he was telling me that he was trying to prove his worth to the rebel leader who's nearby by sneaking into Brent's castle through a blood barrel and destroying all his blood stuff, all his blood stores in the castle. And it led to quite like a really funny interaction with this guy, and it's clearly like a quest line that's going to continue further into the game. I only saw the start of it, but there's just so much to it. And
it sounds great. This was one that I didn't have a lot of interest in until you've been talking about it recently.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. And it's 100% a Mick game as well. Like, I'd be shocked if you don't love it, Mick, because it seems like your thing.
Everything I've heard about it in the last couple of weeks has got me more and more and more excited about it, because it was on my list anyway. It was on my radar as this is going to be good.
Ages ago.
But I've played way too many games that look really, really good, and then they're kind of Euro janky, and I'm wary of it now. Like over the last few years, there's been a lot of these like AA games that look like they're going to be really good, and the trailers are great, and the previews are quite good. And then when you get your hands on things like Echoes of the End and stuff like that, even things like Forspoken and stuff, they look like they're going to be really, really good, and they've got this ex-developer of this game and this ex-producer of that game, and it's always like I get really hyped and I fall victim to my own hype, and then I get the game and I'm like, this is just a 7. Like a 7 is good, like a 7 means good, but I've hyped myself up to being like, this is going to be really, really good, and then it's like, if I'm lucky, it's a 7 or it's a 6 out of 10.
Would you say you're once bitten, twice shy in this situation?
Yeah, a little bit. And I guess I'm just...
Is that a vampire?
No, come on. As if I'd do that.
But I'm also a little bit... So I do admit to being... I'm a little bit cynical in my old age, and I have to play something before I can... I mean, that's obvious, but some people don't. But yeah, I have to get the feel of something before I can decide if I like it or not. And then it has to grab me in like, it gets about 3.5 minutes to get my attention. And if it doesn't, I'll just move on to something else. It's very rare that I'll give anything a second.
Thank God it's not just me that does that.
No, I do as well.
But if a game, like, I haven't got time anymore because we're reviewing constantly, and if I was reviewing this, obviously I'd play it. But if we're lucky enough to get codes where we can do coverage on guides and stuff like that, then
articles, whatever might come up.
I'll want it to sort of grab me. But it looks, the more I hear about it, the more Kieran talks about it. I mean, it's super positive. His preview is super. I mean, every preview has been super. I've read 3 or 4, and they're all saying similar things that people, I don't think anybody, I think even the people like Kieran, who are, I'm not speaking for you, but it seems like even the people that went into this positive have come away going, well, fucking, that was better than I thought it was going to be, or that does more than I expected it to. And that's always a really good sign. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Yeah. So, and it's out September time, you said?
September 3rd, yeah.
Brilliant. So yeah, not long to wait now, because that's creeping up. The August, September, October Palooza is coming. The silly season is nearly upon us.